Hello. Hello. I can't hear you.
Okay, hi Peter. I was on mute, but we're already live. I'm testing it, so we're live on Facebook, on
Maybe you can
YouTube.
do it so that it doesn't, have the banner underneath. If you can put,
I'm sorry.
see that you can not have the banner underneath.
There's no banner now. The banner is only an
No,
arc.
no. But when you have it, you put the banner. If you can either do a see-through banner or have the three faces on top.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a template, but I think you're fine. You're fine.
No, hair I'm fine because you don't have the banner. When you have the banner, you see my hair.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what else. I cannot do
Well,
a.
you do have it where you have me on top.
Yes,
Why don't you, I'll tell you what, you're taller than me. Why don't you put yourself on the bottom?
No, I'm fine the way I am. It's fine.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, as you are taller than me, you put yourself on the bottom and put me in the other.
Oh, that is just the system. I have no influence over this, Peter. It's not like I make you a host, so you can do it yourself if you think there's a way. I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. It should be next to each other, actually, but maybe if your screen is smaller, it puts you up.
I have a very good screen.
Yeah, I see it next to each other. You see it underneath. So,
But when you record it, you see it when it comes out that way.
but I'm sorry, I have no influence at Zoom. I have no idea how to
But
change.
sometimes you get it. Sometimes you get all three in a row, and sometimes you have two in a row and one in the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's Zoom. It's really, I have no influence. It's not like I want to do it like this. Seriously, I have no idea.
You have to find out.
So hopefully, maybe I'm on the bottom, so we're fine.
You're in the bottom. You're taller, so that'll be fine.
No, I'm going to try to do full pictures, and then we're or maybe two. It's fine, Peter. Don't worry about it. I will work it out somehow. Okay, that's only for the archive anyway. So, but we're live right now, so everyone can give us tips now if you know the solution on this.
Good. Maybe they can.
All right. Okay. So I'm setting it up. Let me just see if I wanted to see if there's anyone in the waiting room. Give me 1 second. I'm going to send a reminder out. Okay, here's the show. Okay, so let me send everyone a reminder. Okay, so we have. I don't know why it says delay. It's going to send it in 54 seconds. Okay, for everyone joining us on eTober News, if you were just preparing here, as you can hear, and if you wanted to be part of this live audience, you can still do this. Simply go to worldtourismevents.com and sign up for the Breaking News East show. I'm sorry. Actually, we are not live. Why aren't we live? Okay. 4765. 13765. It should be live. Okay. You know what? We have a few people watching us live. So it seems to be working. Let me test it one more time. Just 1 second. Oh yeah, we are live. Okay. Sorry, guys, wasn't sure if, yeah, I see the numbers coming in here. So if any of you, I see 11 of you are right now watching us on eTurbo News. If you wanted to be part of this live audience, go to worldtourismevents.com and sign up for our breaking news show East. If you don't want to be live now, but you want to watch us on Thursday or next week, you can also do this. If you click on the West show, that's our show we have on Thursday earlier during the day. Very good for US and European watchers. And if you wanted to watch us next week or the following week, you can sign up now already. Just go to the same link, worldtourismevents.com. Okay, Peter. Okay, let's let Henrik in. We only have Henrik joining us. Okay. All right, it looks like we have a small live audience, but we're ready to go. Let's give it like maybe 1 more minute so we can get a few more people also on our social media. Okay. Peter, do you see us next to each other now?
I do, yes.
Okay, let's hope it'll go
Yes,
over.
great. That's wonderful.
All right, let's give it 10 more seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
All right. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're live now. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from livestream.travel in Honolulu, Hawaii. Aloha, as we say here. With me is Dr. Peter Tarlow in College Station, Texas. And actually, you have a chance to join us live. We only have one live guest here, Henrik, and we're going to involve him in a minute. But if you wanted to be part of this discussion, don't be shy. Simply go to worldtourismevents.com and you sign up. I know some of you are posting chats now on our social media. It's going to be a little bit tough to read this all because we have so many different groups. We have like 11 Facebook groups and even more Twitter and some YouTube and Yandex and wherever Twitter where we are. So we, unfortunately, LinkedIn, we cannot watch everything. And comments on eTurbo News, they will be kept so we can see them later. But the easiest is if you just join us live. You're directly part of the audience. Well, we always start with the weather. I can tell you here in Honolulu, it's a little bit of a cloudy, but a hot and a nice day. It's not raining, but we have a few clouds. So maybe we see the rainbow tonight if it starts raining. We don't know. Peter, how's everything in College Station?
This is great. Most Texans like heat. And today was between 95 and 100. That's about 38 to 42 degrees Celsius. Blue skies, lots of sun. So people were very happy today in Texas.
Wonderful. I don't know.
Nice warm day.
We have one guest here, Henrik Zaya. Maybe you want to tell us where you're from?
Let me check, Jürgen. Do you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I cannot see you. That's why I cannot put you on the screen, but I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know why. From Caracas, Venezuela. You know, I always follow you.
Yes, I know. I know who you are. It was more a hypothetical question. I know exactly where you are. Caracas. I've been to Caracas many, many years ago in the late 70s on a cruise ship. I remember this, and I had a great time and enjoyed it.
How's the
today,
weather, Enrique?
here is today the afternoon was a rainy day, crazy rainy day. But the weather is not is normal. But here we are on dry season at this moment. But every day is raining in the afternoon. It's crazy.
Like Mexico City, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well,
But I bet it's nice and warm there. I remember the last time I was in Caracas, it was a very hot day.
yes, and
Yes, here still we have a hot sun. That's not normal.
Yes, yes, yes. Like Texas.
Yeah, I've been a lot of time at the States,
Yes, yes.
and
How
today I
is the,
thought I
How is
thought
the tourism situation in Venezuela?
too bad,
Too bad,
too
meaning
bad, too bad,
malísimo or
too bad, including for us. We have 1 week what they call radical week, 1 week flexible week. National flights only on flex. On radical week, no national flights, no nothing, only international flights.
so 1 week you have flights on and 1 week you have flights off.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that must make it very hard to be a tourist because if I want to come to Caracas, you got to come at the beginning of a flexible
Yes,
week, I guess.
If you
Or-
want to go, if you want to go to the Angel Falls, it's open the whole month. Only Angel Falls to Canaima. But if you want to go to the island, to Los Roques or Margarita Island,
Yeah.
1 week yes, 1 week no.
So you have to go at the beginning of the week because if you go at the end of the week, you'd have to wait 10 days till the next.
10 days, minimum 8 days to 7 nights, minimum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna have to wait till you get a little more, some more flights because that'd be hard. I see another person joining us here.
we have
Mr.
Aslan Hussain. If you want to tell us where you're from.
Yes, Mr. Steinmetz, I'm Aslan. I'm from Kuala Lumpur,
Oh,
and I represent the Kuala Lumpur Tourism Association.
I
Wonderful.
gave
What's
a series of lectures in Kuala Lumpur about a few years ago on tourism security from Malaysia.
Yeah. So, sorry, what's the question? Oh, is
No,
that a
I was
question?
just telling, no question. I was just telling
Oh,
you
sorry.
that a few years ago, I had the honor of being in Kuala Lumpur, where I lectured the tourism industry on the importance of tourism security for Malaysia.
Oh, I see. What was that with the Tourism Malaysia, or was it with the any of the associations here?
I think it was with the Tourism Association, yes. They invited me to come to Malaysia.
Okay, we have a big one.
Yes, in
Oh,
Kuala Lumpur. You have a beautiful airport.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah, Malaysia is a great, hopefully when we're all getting out of COVID and we can travel, I can say I always went shopping in Malaysia because it's a wonderful place to shop. It is inexpensive for our kind of understanding. And you have wide selections of very unique merchandise, not only clothes. I couldn't buy clothes because it looks like you don't really sell clothes for big people like me. but there was a lot to do, and I went to Malaysia during the Commonwealth Tourism Conference was going on, and at the same time there was also the Formula One car races going on. So it was a very, very busy weekend last time I was in Kuala Lumpur. How's the situation in Kuala Lumpur right now? With I understand you're back into lockdowns and into COVID restrictions now.
yeah, we have issues on the discipline of the masses. What do you call the vaccination rate now? I think we are touching 50% already of the population.
Very high,
and
50%.
yes,
very
yes,
good.
yes. And we were achieving something like over 500,000 vaccinations per day, which is one of the highest in the world.
Right.
Which vaccines are you using?
Sorry?
Which vaccine are you using?
We used, in fact, almost all. The Pfizer,
Okay.
AstraZeneca, Sinovac, and now the CanSino has come in. We are also receiving. You see, the whole trouble is the supply of vaccines has been very slow. So whatever we have got, we accept, and that's from everywhere.
Yeah, so you get whatever you can get. Yeah.
Sorry.
You get whatever you can get.
That's right. That's right. And then we have the government has just announced they've got another 6 million vaccines coming in by next month. So we hope to, well, the government hopes to achieve 80%, hopefully by the end of the year.
Wow, that would be better than what we have here.
Yeah.
And we do here, we have plenty of vaccine, but people are hesitant to get the vaccine. So that's why we have only about 60 or 50 some percent, I think, fully vaccinated in the United States. Is there a hesitation in Malaysia, or is
Yes.
everyone just ready to get vaccinated?
I think we have issues like the anti-vaxxers here too. We
Anti-vaxxers.
We even have issues also now with some teachers who do not want to be vaccinated. They are part of the anti-vaxxers, and that causes a problem with our education with the schools, some of the schools.
Yeah.
So we have these challenges. Just as I say, we have a problem with discipline in our population here.
And you're not alone there. And I think the entire world is facing the same type of problem, whether you look at Europe or you look at Asia. And I was surprised because when you heard about Malaysia, when you also heard about Singapore, and a while ago Indonesia, there was hardly any COVID. It almost seemed like it was wiped out, and then it kind of came back. Is this the same situation we have here? Because we have record high numbers with the Delta version. Is this the same thing you have?
Oh yeah, the Delta version is causing a big problem here because what we see is that once the virus gets into the body, the person dies very fast.
Right.
Right. Oh, but they should not die quickly if they're already vaccinated. It should only be if you have not been vaccinated.
Correct, Dr. Talo, because a lot of in the statistics, a lot of them are those with preconditions.
Yes.
Preconditions with diabetes and heart and all that.
Yes.
And most of them are also not vaccinated.
Yes. That seems to be the problem because the numbers are not real numbers on some level. We do have to divide between vaccinated without comorbidities, and then people with comorbidities, and then people who have not been vaccinated. So those are really three very different groups of people. And in the Delta variant, if you are healthy and vaccinated, then you're probably not going to have more than a bad cold. But if you are not vaccinated or you have a comorbidity, that's a whole different world. And then you are in some real trouble. So one of the ways to get around that is make sure you get vaccinated. Yeah.
We see that in the statistics now. We used to have we are managing the health ministry is managing the statistics very well now, and we have found out that the stage 1 and 2 are very high now, which means they are not serious.
Yes.
So they can be quarantined at home.
Right.
And the statistics for the stage 3, 4, and 5 are coming down.
Yes.
The stage 1 and 2 are very.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm hoping that things open up and that Jürgen is able to go back shopping in Malaysia. Of course, what he needs to do, because he is a big man, is he needs to buy only shorts, and that way it won't bother him.
It's a problem in Malaysia because you guys are all nice and slim people, you know. So and there's a market, you know. Seriously, a guy like this, it's not only in Malaysia. You go to shops here, and you're not really asking what style you want to buy. I said, do you have my size? And then you decide what is left for you. So that is definitely something. And in Malaysia, to lose weight is a real challenge because your food is so excellent. So
Yeah, the good news for Mr. Steinmetz is the plan is to open Langkawi by next month.
wow, that's good news.
Yeah.
Would this be like restricted to the area, or only with direct flights, or what are the plans for this?
I think the only direct for the international is direct flights, and the plan is I think Qatar Airways plans to fly into Langkawi.
Right.
So well, things are not. We have not heard of the latest news yet, but that was the plan.
What are there any impacts of what's going on in Afghanistan, either in Malaysia or in Venezuela?
In Venezuela now.
And how about in Malaysia?
We so far not yet, but we have some of them here already before.
Some of the refugees already.
Yeah, you must remember. I remember this Afghan problem even started when I was living in Germany. They were already fleeing the country in the 80s. So it's not a new movement for them. For me, from my observation,
it's a lot more now. So it's
yeah. But so far not yet, because there's no communication, no air communication between Afghanistan and Southeast Asia.
Yes. All right. Well, then you don't have to worry about cutting flights because you don't have any. So that's
No, we don't.
so that's a good thing, I guess, in its own way. What do you see as the biggest problems facing tourism in either Malaysia or Venezuela? What is your number one problem?
Malaysia?
Well, you could answer for Venezuela, and Enrique could answer for Malaysia, but probably better than Enrique answers for Venezuela and you answer for Malaysia. But you can do it any way you want.
Here in Venezuela, there is no problem with tourism. The problem is there is no passengers. People don't want to come to Venezuela because the rumor here is everybody's tall, and now it's more, how can I say, it's better than before. Now there is no crime on the streets. Now you can walk at night and there is no problem, except that you go to a bad area.
Right.
But in the normal areas, there is no problem.
I see. And of course, you have a bad area in every city, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, with Venezuela, of course, like many countries, had challenges recently. So are these challenges overcome when it comes to the travel and tourism industry besides COVID? If COVID wasn't there, do you think your tourism industry would function very well at this point?
Yes, at this moment, we can, everybody now at this moment, according to all the airlines and governments, you can go to any place without vaccine. That's the new.
Right.
All the governments are publishing. If you are not vaccinated, you can go. You can get in, except some countries. Now, for example, from Caracas, we only have flight to Caracas, Cancun, Caracas, Dominican Republic, and Caracas, Istanbul, with Turkish Airlines.
Oh, Turkish! That's amazing. Turkish Airlines. You know, it's amazing.
They have five flights a week.
Wow.
From Caracas.
Yeah. So once you go to Istanbul, you can go to almost any place. I see we have a third person joining us, Alan De Souza. Where are you from? But his microphone is off.
Sorry, the last I didn't.
I see we have a third person joining us.
Alan
De Souza, but his microphone is off. So if he turns his microphone off, we could hear him. But I don't know.
Station.
Here he
is. Yeah, where are you
listening to your
conversation
conversation
from, Alan?
No, Alan De Souza, he's not more here.
Are you here, Mr. De Souza?
Yeah, it's Alan, and I'm
Eh,
from Montreal, and I'm on. I can hear you guys. I was listening to this conversation.
Oh,
Here
good.
here now we have problem. You know, I didn't know. I get in just this week. The problem we have with the US.
Yeah, that,
Well-
Because we
Mr. De Souza, you're from Montreal?
Yes.
Yes. And tell us, what do you do in Montreal, in Montreal?
Well, I'm a retired 81-year-old guy, and I do
Oh,
a lot
young
of
like me. All right.
Yeah. and I do a lot of volunteer work. Keeps me busy 25 hours a day.
Oh, good. for
And
you.
I have my home office, and I keep truly busy. That's why I can't join into most of these. Like I
Yeah.
was telling Jurgen, I couldn't,
yes, I'm here.
I
I'm here back.
just got in,
Yeah.
and I got in and on the nick of time, 10 o'clock.
Okay, I'm back.
thank you. No, no, we were talking to Alan, and thanks for joining us. I know it's quite late in Montreal,
10 o'clock.
Okay.
at 10 o'clock, and but it's a beautiful city. Montreal is so different from any North American city, not only because it's French, but it's French speaking. It's just the atmosphere.
After traveling around the world, I always say that Montreal is one of the best cities. They're ruining it with the language problem. And they don't realize they've already done so much damage, and they're still continuing with it.
Yeah. Well, I like that when I'm in Montreal, I get to practice my French. So,
They don't speak, unfortunately, they don't speak Parisian French here.
no,
They speak a Joal,
yeah, they speak.
which the
they kinda-
Parisians
yeah.
laugh at.
But everybody's very sweet to me because
No, it's a lovely place. I mean,
no, and I always say to them, je n'ai pas étudié français, mais je.
Oh, je parle
parle
petit
avec
peu,
vous en
oui, oui.
français. I've never studied French, but I'd like to speak with you in French, and everybody helps me.
No, it's a great place. I've been here 53 years.
Yeah.
And
Where are you from originally?
Bombay, India.
Oh, well, that's very different from Parisian French.
I studied in French in high school and in university, but we didn't have any spoken French.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
and I lived in Toronto, I lived in Vancouver, and really this place takes the cake. It's really good. We have so many festivals in
Yes.
the summertime.
And did
and-
you know that you are the bagel capital of Canada?
The what? Pardon
The
me?
bagel capital of Canada.
Oh yes,
Yes.
and smoked meat. Don't forget that smoked meat.
Yes.
You have the
I
biggest
was
sandwich in the world.
flabbergasted. I was on a train between Montreal and Ottawa, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a huge fight on the train over who had better bagels, Montreal, Toronto, or Ottawa. I
No,
couldn't
no,
believe-
no. Montreal's the king.
Yes, and
They know.
And by the time I got to Ottawa, I couldn't eat because everybody was giving me bagels from one place or the other, and so I must have had 5 bagels on the.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was delicious. It was a great train ride.
And you'll be very fussy where we buy it from. Because
Yes,
one
I
is the
know.
king
Yes,
and the
They
rest
have-
are trying to imitate them.
yeah. Many people do not know that Montreal is world famous for its bagels.
And have you seen a smoked meat sandwich here?
Yes.
It's got
Yes.
about 1.5 inch of meat.
Yes, it's like a
Slices.
New York delicatessen. Yes, it's very, it's,
Tasty.
last time I was in Montreal, I had a wonderful time. I was flabbergasted by the amount of Jewish French food in Montreal. It was,
Oh, we have international food here.
yes.
Every
you're the-
conceivable country, we
Yes.
can get food here.
Yeah, you're the bagel capital of Canada. So I hope that my Canadian friends in other parts of the country don't get mad.
And, I have to say, Montreal for me is the reason I now live in Hawaii. Not necessarily in Hawaii, in North America, the United States. My very first trip to North America was during the Olympics in 1976. to
Oh, that
Montreal.
was a nice time.
And this was, I think, the best time I ever had as a young guy at the time. It was so much fun. I mean, this is like the trip of the lifetime, and we
Yeah.
met so many people. And that's how I ended up actually moving to the US after this. And I always wanted to move to Canada at the time, but things came a little bit different. And the other thing really on Montreal, you mentioned festivals. Last time I was in Montreal, right before Corona, there was the Laugh Festival. I was staying at the Hyatt Hotel.
Just for laughs.
Your window and see all these things going on. And it's a very fun town. And you have Just for Laughs. It's a show.
Right.
I have to say, every night before I go to sleep, I watch like 2 or 3 of these sessions on YouTube. They're really relaxing and they're so much fun. So I know Montreal is.
And if you hear the jazz festival, we have a terrific jazz festival worldwide.
Right.
They come in here.
Yeah.
Well, we have lots of festivals.
Well, it seems to me the real theme of the today, even though we only had 3 people, was despite COVID and despite some of the other problems, tourism is alive and well, and it's just waiting to come back to life. I see we have somebody else here, Mr. Vakaria. Hello, Mr. Vakaria. I see your picture, but I see your. Turn on your microphone and you can join us.
Mahendra Vakaria. I think you cannot say Mahendra. How are you,
Hi,
Mahendra?
hi. Hi, morning, Peter. How are you, Dr. Peter and Yugen?
Good. Tell everybody where you're from.
Hi, my name is Mahendra. I'm from Ahmedabad, a city in the western part of India, and I'm a travel advisor and entrepreneur.
Wow.
It must be really early in the morning for you.
Not so bad. It's 7:50, almost 8 o'clock. So it's the day is begin already, and the first day of the week. So super excited to get into the office and start working.
Well, we're glad to have you here. So that's great.
Thank
We've
you.
been talking about what are some of the key issues in tourism. We have somebody here from Malaysia, somebody from Venezuela, somebody from Canada, and now from India. What are some of the key tourism issues that you see in India?
Currently, as we speak, we are in a much comfortable situation as far as the dreaded COVID is concerned. So things have started to get back to normal since last 2 months. A lot of people are traveling for holidays within India. International travel is still a kind of an start-stop situation because there are a lot of countries which have opened up, but there's still so much of confusion with regards to rules and regulations and protocols and things like that. So that's really a pain. Every moment, every day, it keeps changing. So, so advising a customer to plan a holiday is becoming a challenge. But having said that, life at this moment seems to be very much in control and progressing to what we would call a normal situation. They are talking of the third wave hitting us or whatever. We only hope that it's not as impactful as it was in the month of April, May, when it happened so suddenly and so fast that the administration just was caught napping kind of a situation. But yeah, people are more mindful now, I would say. And reality is people are wanting to travel, period. They're so frustrated sitting at home for the last 15 months.
Yeah.
But thankfully, due to this forced holidays within India, a lot of domestic homegrown hotels, individual boutique hotels, homestays have done wonderful business in this last months, and they have been able to sustain themselves in spite of all the challenges otherwise. So yeah, it's a mixed bag, I would say. But till international travel does not open up for a huge Indian outbound tourism market, the industry is going to be challenged for sure.
And I think you hit a really important point, which is not so much the regulations, but the constant changing of the regulations. Because if there's a consistency, then at least we know what to do and what to expect. But when they change the regulations every other day, people are afraid because there's no consistency. And so that makes it really hard to travel. And I think your point is very, very well taken. And that's not a point just for India. I think that's a point that touches the entire world. So
it is such a nightmare right now. You know that you are becoming the Wikipedia of the world in terms of an advisor, as to constantly you need to keep checking, reviewing websites to understand whether the protocol has changed, any government has introduced a new regulation or restriction or whatever. For example, we have this huge backlog of students in India who have to get into Canada before the 15th of September. Now, both the governments have stopped direct flights. Canadian government is not allowing direct flights from India into Canada for students. They have to go via a third country
Yes.
because they're not accepting the RT-PCR report of India, but they're accepting a report from a third country. Now it's becoming such a terrible mess and a situation. It's so sorry to see the students suffering, but nobody seems to be disturbed at all. So yeah, it's quite a chaotic situation.
Yeah. And that, again, by the way, is true in all sorts of situations around the world. So it's not just India. We closed the border between the United States and Canada, then they opened it for a day, then they closed it again. So, you just literally, laws change by the hour sometimes.
Yeah, and then you
So-
And no matter what you say, an hour later, it's a different law.
Yeah, and if you call in the mix, especially as a traveler, this is how people get stranded. And unfortunately, through this crisis, we have many examples from the very first moment this crisis came. There is no coordination. There is no world tourism body that really has an influence over anything. The World Tourism Organization itself has been pretty much useless, in my opinion. And the private industry is trying hard, but there is no leadership. There is the World Health Organization, of course, but then their concern isn't tourism. So it's a real issue. We have another guest joining us, Jose Ting. Is that correct? Jose, you want to say where you're from?
Yes, unmute yourself, Jose. Jose, if you can hear yourself. Jose, if you unmute yourself, we can talk to you.
Yeah.
Going once, going twice.
So maybe he doesn't have a microphone. Anyways,
Or maybe he just wanted to listen to us.
he wanted
He just said, sorry, I don't have a mic. He doesn't have a mic and he doesn't have a camera. So he's in a listening situation. So Jose, if you write and tell me where you're listening to us from, I'll announce that. So he's writing from Thailand, in Bangkok.
Peter,
And-
he's from Thailand. He's from Bangkok.
Yes. So I don't know if he pronounces his name Jose or Jos, because I don't know if I'm reading it in Spanish or in Thai, but hopefully we didn't insult you. But we're glad that you joined us, even if okay, it's Jose in Spanish. Perfecto. Okay. So actually we have 3 Spanish speaking people on this call today. So that's great. Okay. Well, is anybody else? Jürgen, do you have something you'd like to say or?
No, but I'm glad. I think it was a different type of format. I kind of like it. We get people involved. It's a small group. I see we have quite a few people watching us together on social media and our other platforms. And in the future, if you wanted to be part of our group, just go to World Tourism Events, sign up. We don't bite. So, but it's good to get people involved in our conversation. We also, we have from time to time, we have invited guests on the show, like we had on our North America show recently, where we're talking about a new way of testing. Maybe Peter, you can summarize a little bit. It was an interesting session about the new way this company we had as a guest is conducting the corona test.
Yeah, it's a format of a serology test. And those types of tests don't look to see if you are COVID negative or not. What you want to do is you want to have a positive reading. And what you want to show is that you have enough antibodies to fight off any attack of corona. So you're not looking to see what your state of corona is, because you can be negative on one day and the next day you're not negative. But if you have the antibodies, then you're able to say, okay, for at least the next 6 months, you are you're good to go. And so the problem is that there are a few countries in the world that are doing this well. Probably the leading country in the world is Israel, but the need to be able to say to people, okay, rather than every time you get on a plane, you have to be tested. I'm in Latin America all the time, and it's a real pain, especially if you're going from one Latin American country to another. You have to get tested multiple times. But if we could create a card that would say, okay, from January 1 until June 1, we know you have enough antibodies that it really doesn't matter. And that would make travel so much easier. And we're looking for ways to be able to create make ourselves safe, but show that people have the enough antibodies into the system so that they don't have to worry. I got my booster shot, my third shot on Friday. And so now I'm okay. But that means that at least for another 6 or 8 months, I don't really have to worry when I'm traveling because I have plenty of antibodies to be able to protect me. And that would make life for, say, somebody like our friend in India a lot simpler. So it shows that there is some hope. Hopefully that these will be things that will be coming down the pike. And before we know it, maybe science will help tourism get back on its feet.
Well, wonderful. We're a little bit, 5 minutes actually over our 30 minutes or 10 minutes over our 30 minutes. But what is good. So I had a good time. I hope everyone else enjoyed it. And if you wanted to be part at our next show, we already have quite a few people signed up. This is on Thursday at 8 a.m. my time in Hawaii, what would make it 2 a.m. in the morning in Malaysia. So I think for our friends in Thailand, Malaysia, or even India, it'll be about midnight or 12:30 in the morning. It might be a little bit late. 1 a.m. in Thailand, that's correct. We have 7 hours here. The other way around, it's kind of a day plus minus 7. Thanks, Jose. But anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. And if you wanted to watch yourself and watch this again, we're going to put it in archive. So it's going to be rotating with some of our other events for the next day or two. And but it will always be available when you go to livestream.travel or to our YouTube channel, and you can watch it anytime and also forward to your friends and let others know about us. In the meantime, I give Peter the last word, but I wanted to say aloha from Hawaii. Don't forget to read eTurbo News. We're working on a lot of really interesting stories right now. Just stay tuned. And there's a lot going on in the world, obviously. And Peter, you have the last word.
Yeah, I think the real theme of tonight was that we all share certain commonalities and problems. And one of the big issues is the need to have consistency in tourism so that people know exactly what to expect and when to expect it. And that's something that's really important that we start working together. One of the great American patriots, Patrick Henry, said, we either hang together, we either work together or we hang separately. And I think that's really true of tourism too. We either work together or we will destroy ourselves separately. So let's hope that we work together and find a way to make world tourism a really successful place. With that, I'm going to say from Texas, good night to everybody, or good morning if you are on the other side of the world, and wish you all a very happy, I'll just say good, and you can say good evening, good morning, good night, whatever you like. So good, happy good to everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.